going on, Jerome's? So yesterday, Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa just decided to completely blow up his former head coach, Brian Flores, now Vikings defensive coordinator, going on the Le Batard show and talk about their 2 years together with the Dolphins, basically saying that Flores is pretty tough on him, saying that Flores is a terrible person, and yada, yada, yada. Like, you know what happened, in viral yesterday. And so Flores was scheduled to talk to the media jackals today, and obviously that was going to be a topic of conversation. And obviously we knew that Flores was going to take the high road because he's a professional, and he's with the Vikings now. It's stuff that is going to take away from the team, and he's not going to do that. But part of me just wanted him to unleash the fury, just like, hey, man, me being tough on you got you better your first 2 years because you sucked your first 2 years, and all of a sudden you get Tyreek Hill, and you're good to go with the offensive-minded head coach, Taki. Okay, but now we knew that Flores was going to take the high road on this, and a great moment before the presser is when things opened. You had Josh Metellus and Harrison Phillips, two team leaders, especially on the defensive side of the ball, flanking Flores just like they're his bodyguards. And Metellus said, "I just wanted to let y'all know we're behind him." So it was a great moment, and great show of support to Brian Flores, and you could tell like Flores. So Flores is a tough-ass dude, got high standards, right? But he's human, and you could really tell that Tua's comments hurt him. I mean, because like I said, he's human, and no matter how focused you are on the job, no matter how much of a hard ass you are, like someone calls you a terrible person, and basically downgrades your life's work. Nah, it's gonna hurt. So you could hear it in Flores' voice, like. There's a lot of emotion there. He, took pauses to, collect his thoughts frequently, and yeah, you could tell that this really bothered him. But some of the quotes here. Alec Lucy Athletic. Brian Flores on Tua's comments, quote, "I'm genuinely happy for the success Tua has had. I wish him nothing but the best. Player relationships are very important to me. That's the foundation of coaching. Really, I wish nothing but the best to Tua." And that's what we said, that Flores is going to take the high road, and he did. And we talked about why he got into coaching, molding young men, having them be the best version of themselves. And, I mean, his comments definitely took a toll on his life's work. And then Flores was asked directly by one of the beat writers, what was the deal with Flores calling him a terrible person? What was his thoughts on that? Flores said this, quote, "Look, I'm human. That hit me in a way that I wouldn't say was positive. I've got to use that and say how can I grow from that? How can I be better?" And he also said, what can I do to make sure that no one says that about Brian Flores again? And so, Flo, very introspective about things, and taking the high road, like we said, and he got into it. How he's handling this, he's reflecting. How can I grow? How can I be better? And I felt like the media were definitely making a meal out of this. Like, there's a lot of repetitive questions at the start of the presser before they even got to football stuff. But I know that they're doing their job. But at a certain point, it just becomes circular. But he was asked if he was open to talk to Tua about all this stuff, and he actually had like a little bit of a pause. And then he said he's open to talking to Tua when the time is right. But also, he's where his feet are, and he's here, and he's working with the players here, and that's what it is. And that's mainly what it was. Like, Flores doesn't like making it about him. Like, he's not one of those coaches. There's a lot of coaches like that. But he says that stuff like this takes attention away from the players here. Quote, "In a team sport, I'd rather be talking about them than myself," end quote. And also, he's got a lot of support from people in the building. Obviously, it was great to see Metellus and Phillips there, but also from other buildings as well. He talked about how he's gotten a lot of messages of support and stuff. And like I said, not everyone's going to see eye to eye. And Flores, especially some Dolphins players, a lot of Dolphins fans, not a fan of Brian Flores, but you're going to have that. And for every sour grapes player, there's dozens of players that love and respect Brian Flores, right? So, again, that's Tua's take. Did he necessarily have to air it out in a public forum like this? Now, a lot of Dolphins fans are like, Le Batard asked the question. He doesn't have to answer it like that, man. Like, you could tell, like, that was something that Tua has had bottled up for a while and just needed to vent. There's diplomatic ways that you could have gotten your point across without completely nuking Brian Flores. So, I don't know, like, obviously Tua wanted to talk about it, there's ways to sidestep questions, but also we've seen Tua in the pocket. He's not very good at sidestepping things. But either way, it's a distraction here. It really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. I would love to. I feel like the scriptwriters were asleep at the wheel. How did the Vikings not play the Dolphins this year? And obviously, the Vikings aren't going to play the Dolphins in the Super Bowl because the Dolphins ain't advancing past the wild card round. No problem. But there was some actual football stuff being talked about. Happy with the direction of the defense. Happy with the first 2 preseason games as well as joint practices. Thought that they were physical and bringing it. Also, Jihad Ward, a.k.a. Hottie, bringing energy and versatility. Flores is saying that Ward keeps bothering him. He was like, hey, let me drop into coverage. And Flores is just like, no. But I think that he's someone that you could watch being in the sphere in terms of the 53 practice squad and being on the field. Excited about Stephon Gilmore. Great player, great mentor out there. It's kind of funny. So Flores said that Harrison Smith because Gilmore automatically working with the ones, but there was a look on defense which made like an automatic blitz from the corner, and then Flores just like, he's not here to blitz, which is great. Also, I looked. Stephon Gilmore has 1 career pressure, so he definitely was not here to blitz. Maybe it's 2. Doesn't matter. High praise for rookie defensive tackles Levi Drake Rodriguez, speed, athleticism, and quickness. Also, Taki Taimani, not Tyler Manoa. It's hard to move him, which is great. And that's something that we've been looking for in terms of a nose tackle. Like Kairos Tonga was supposed to be that guy, didn't really get on the field, but just that's what you're missing. And if you're going to run an odd front, especially early downs, you just need that immovable 2-gapping nose tackle up front. And Flores in New England had Vince Wilfork, and we're just trying to get after it there. Also, you talked about the personnel process as cut downs, practice squad. It's collaborative, etc. He said that he likes Gilmore, so that's good to know. But like we said, like this is obviously a tough one for Brian Flores, but I'm glad that we got rid of the elephant in the room, and it's time to move on. Let's focus on playing ball. Like Tua's comments really have no impact on this team, this defense, Flores. So we'll move on. And like I kind of wish that Flores would have unleashed the fury. I'm sure that he's got some things and some stuff to say, but love the way that he approached it. Nothing but praise for Tua, as well as reflection. Because, Flores hears all these things, right? But reflecting on him growing and shown as a person, as a coach, as everything, man. So it's good to see. But that's it. Your thoughts are thoughts. Brian Flores press conference. Oh, the Tua press conference. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts, comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. You guys know what to do. Skol, production value.